Hey Tribe, how are you? Good evening. For those of you, it's your first time joining me. I'm Chevy. Welcome and welcome. We are the Tribe over here. We're all about inspiration, motivation, and elevation. And if that's your thing, baby, pull up a chair. Let's have a conversation. And this week's inspiration, we are going to specifically talk about how to let people go. This has come from several people requesting from my previous video, It's Okay to Let Go, and I'll link that below. Be sure to check that out. So maybe this part 2 maybe will help you a little bit more as well. But we're going to talk about how to let people go and how to be okay with that decision. So if that's where you are in life and you have some things and some people to let go and you're struggling on how to decide how to do that, don't worry. Chevy's here for you. So let's jump right on into it. All right, so if you've made it this far in the video, you're the person I need to speak to. We're going to talk about being okay with the decision that you're making. And let me give a disclaimer. If you kind of see some smoke coming this way, I'm sitting in my backyard and I have my fire pit burning, so you might see a little of smoke coming this way. So let's jump right into it. We ain't got time to waste. We got decisions to make. So first things first. When people start having feelings or thoughts of letting someone go, it's usually the result of a few things. And not saying this is the entire list in its entirety, but usually it falls in one of these categories. One, a person no longer makes you happy, whether you have changed or they have changed, right? Perhaps you no longer feel like you're a priority. You maybe even feel unappreciated at this point. Number 3, betrayal has taken place. Now you're in a position of questioning one's loyalty, right? And sometimes things just aren't the same. And this could be for a variety of reasons. But regardless of what the reason is, you're no longer happy and you're no longer satisfied. And now you find yourself in a position of trying to figure out how to regain that satisfaction, even if it means no longer with this person. So, again, not saying that's in its entirety, but usually, more times than not, these thoughts begin to arise because one of these 4 categories is kind of your crossroads you're at right now. So, let's get into talking about what we could do. If you've made the decision, it's just time to let go. All right, so let's get right on into it. And I'm sorry, you probably hear me read some stuff too. Like I stated in my previous video, and again, I'll link it below, it doesn't matter the time you have spent with someone. It doesn't matter if it's 2 months, 12 years, or 20 years. If you have come to a crossroad where you are questioning if this person deserves access to you moving forward, then it is what it is. And time does not make you obligated to stay intertwined or interactive or access to by anyone. Let's be clear about that. Time does not keep you tied to someone for the rest of your life. Okay? So let's look at this. Step 1. I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to write down the benefits of having this person remain and the cons of having them remain. And what are the pros and cons of having them removed? And I want you to be honest. You got to get down to the nitty-gritty and be transparent with yourself. This is you having a conversation with yourself, right? So it's no need to be shy or secretive or holding back. Lay it all out there. We're talking about your life and your happiness here, right? So let's hold no bars. When you have completed this list, right? Look at both of them and be honest. Which one is more attractive to you? Which one makes you smile when you look at the outcome of both lists, right? So that's going to be our first step. Our second step, I want you to ask yourself another question. And the question I want you to ask yourself is, are you leaving because you are no longer happy and you no longer have a desire for this person to have access to you? Or are you leaving because you're trying to teach this person a lesson? Very important question. Are you leaving because you're not happy and your desires are no longer with this person, for whatever your reasons are? Or are you trying to teach this person a lesson? Now let me explain to you why this is an important question. Because if you are basing your decision off of teaching that person a lesson, then this isn't about what you want. This isn't about your desires. This isn't about your happiness. When we try to teach a person a lesson, it's because we want them to move differently, right? In the hopes that we will reach, that we will get the benefit of that lesson being learned, which means habits and patterns and ways of doing things and behaviors will change for the better. And we will reap the benefit of that, right? So let me be clear, and again, I'm looking down because I always have notes. I want you to understand, this is an important question. Teaching a lesson, or are you no longer desiring this person to have access? And again, the reason this is an important question, because if you are basing your decision on the other person, then your decision is not about your happiness. It is simply about who deserves to have access to you. It is very, very important you understand this is about you and the lessons you have learned. Trying to teach someone a lesson in the hopes that they will do better leaves the door open. It leaves the door open. And the more likely they will return, and your decision will be temporary. See, when you want to remove something, it's not like walking into the mall and it's the revolving door. When you're done, you're done. Be done, right? One, don't toy with your emotions by allowing this door to remain open. And if it's not the door, close the window too, all right? When you're done, be done and find your new normal. Clear out that space. Make way for the things that you desire, for the happiness you are trying to achieve, for the things you are trying to manifest for the betterment of you. But as long as you're looking behind you, you're not paying attention to what's coming at you. And let me say this to you, tribe. Stop looking behind yourself. That's not the direction you're going in. Stop looking behind you. It's not the direction you're going in, right? You all see this fence behind me? I want to give you an analogy. When you are done, build a fence. Build a fence. That way they can no longer see you, can't have access to you. They can try and jump it. They can try and crawl. They can try and dig a hole. But you build you a strong, indestructible fence behind you. Because guess what? When I look behind myself, I only see the fence. I don't see nothing beyond it. So I don't get caught up in what I once was attached to back there. When you're done, laser focus, straight ahead. We done, been there, done that. Been there, done that. We ain't going back. No need to look back, right? Laser focus. And you build that fence behind yourself. So if by chance you want to play peekaboo, you can't see nothing but the fence. But the caveat to that is, can't nobody see through the fence at you either. Got it? All right. Now, if you want to truly remove someone, means you're done. And you want to close that chapter. You're not interested in having a revolving door in your life, as I just stated. Be done, right? Once you have become clear, you are not interested in providing this person access to you, then it's time to move on to step 3. All right. Step 3 builds on step 1. If you remember, step 1, you wrote your list of pros and cons about not having this person in your life or having them remain. Step 3, remember, we're clear now. We're sure that we don't want this person. Step 1, you're trying to truly decide if this is what you want. You're trying to put it down in front of you. So, sometimes we understand better when we see it. Step 3, you're clear. You know you're done. You have no desire. We've closed the door, the windows, bolted them, did everything. So step 3, you need to write down why this person does not deserve access to you. And you can make this as detailed as you want it to be. So for example, you can say they betrayed me and leave it at that. Or you can provide examples of how they betrayed you. I would recommend, if writing examples, if it's going to stir up overwhelming feelings, let it stay general. Let it stay general. This is about encouraging yourself, building yourself up, giving yourself a clear understanding of the path you are taking and the reasons why. You gotta understand the why, because the why is what's going to let you be encouraged when those moments get rough, and you have to remind yourself why you're moving the way you're moving. So the why is very important. So if you're in a place that you can't get too detailed because you're going to get stuck in the emotions, then let it stay general. Let it stay general. This ain't about, trying to look too far behind that fence. You just want to be able to say, I've made this decision, and this is why this person doesn't deserve access to me. And again, some of us can write the examples down and not get too stirred up, and then some of us will get stuck and relive it. If you're in a place you're going to relive it, let it be. Stay general. Stay general. If you're in a place you can think about it and write it down, and it's that, this is why they can't be as detailed as you possibly can, okay? I will explain later in this video why I suggest you write this list. I'm going to break it down a little bit more. But if you're ready, let's move on to step 4. Step 4, and this may be difficult for some of you, and you have to do it when you feel strong enough to do it. So let me say this. Step 4 is about having a conversation with the person. Don't run from it. Face it. Stand up to it. And the reason I say this is so you both can have closure. But more importantly, you can. You can't get mad at the person for reaching out or moving like they've always moved, dropping by, texting, whatever it is. If you haven't informed them you're doing things differently, then you can't get mad if they still moving according to the original normal program that they're used to, right? So you have to have a conversation, and I emphasize conversation, not argument. We're not doing that. Conversation, okay? Again, and by having the conversation, not only does it allow you both, hopefully, to have closure, but it allows that person to not have the opportunity to say to you, well, I didn't know. The only way to know a person knows how you feel, you move how you move, and you make the decisions that you make, is you are responsible for telling them. Don't play the game of they should have known. It's common sense. How could they not have known? Because your experience is your experience, of what you would readily assume may not come as quickly or as easily or at all for the other person. So the only way to know somebody knows something, tell them. And then they can't play the I didn't know game, okay? Now, be prepared. The person you are speaking to may get defensive and want to cut you off and overtalk you and point out what they feel you did to them. Right? What you did to them. Remember I said, conversation, not argument. Let them know you are not here to blame, attack, or punish. You just want to have a conversation because, one, you feel he or she deserves to know what you feel, how you feel, and why you feel it. So you're not coming from a place of blame and attack and punishment, so it's no need for the argument. It is okay to express yourself and why you need to just be ready. It is nothing wrong with sharing your truth. You just gotta be ready, okay? This doesn't have to take hours. It doesn't have to take days. It can be as long or as short as you want it to be. But if you're done, this does not need to be no drawn out thing. And if by chance the person doesn't want to hear you out, you calmly say, I realize we are unable to have this conversation, and that's okay. But I just wanted you to know why I'm stepping back and need you to do the same. I wish you well. And you hang the phone up. Conversation, not argument. Make sure you are in a good feeling place, in a calm place. It's been a good day. Because if this person gets defensive and they want to overtalk and cut you off and all of that, you're immediately going to join them on that bandwagon. So if by chance you see this is not going to be a dialogue, right? Then you say, I realize we cannot have this conversation, and it's okay. I just wanted you to know why I'm stepping back, and I need you to do the same. I wish you well. That's it. That's all. Don't go there with nobody, and don't let nobody take you there, because you're coming already in your decision made. You just come to let them know what it was, right? So they don't need to get upset and argue or whatever. Decision made, done, right? We got an agenda to get to. We got a happiness to get to. We ain't got time to be arguing with nobody. And it is their right not to have the conversation with you. Understand that. They have the right not to have the conversation with you, and you can't get mad at it. Can't get mad at it. Right? Remember, conversation, not argument. All right. Now, tribe, I got to prepare you for some things. Some people will fall back, and that's bad. Some of you will experience people trying to reach back out within days or weeks. This brings me back to the list I told you to write earlier. Remember, I told you I was going to circle back why this list is so important. When they're reaching out, and it gets you to start reminiscing. It gets you to go, could they have changed? Do they miss me? Did they learn their lesson and ready to do some things different? Should I? Because I do love them. Should I? Go bust that list out. Because if betrayal took place and trust has been broken, are you still going to trust what they say? Are you still going to feel the need to go through their phone? Are you still going to feel the need to question them? Are you still going to doubt everything that comes out of their mouth? Chances are, all of that will still exist for you. And I don't know about you, that is nowhere near the definition of happiness, if those are the thoughts and feelings that you're having. Every time you feel you're giving in, pull that list out. Go over it from beginning to end. Remind yourself why removing them to begin with, and keep working over that list until the feeling to call them or text them or reach back out passes. Having someone in your life and having a daily interaction with them, or a frequent, regular, pattern-filled interaction with them. So it doesn't have to be daily per se or whatever, but you all have an established pattern with each other. All patterns need time to break, do they not? Whether you're a smoker, a drinker, a partier, a spender, whatever your vice is, don't you need time to break old habits to create new? Yeah, you do. So with that being said, this is no different. When we're used to having someone in our life, an established pattern, you need time to break it. So hence why this list is so important. And if you have to sit there and read that list 5 times before you feel the feeling of reach out subsides, read it 5 times. What you notice is 5 will turn to 3, may turn to 1, and then will turn to none. Because you are now You have broken that pattern. You've replaced it with some new behaviors and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. Thoughts control emotions. Emotions control behavior. It's a domino effect. Thoughts, emotions, and I'm pointing at my feet. Behavior. See how that's all lined up? In that order. In that order. So, don't beat yourself up because you thought of him or her today. A smoker who's trying to stop smoking thinks of that cigarette several times a day, do they not? Until the desire over time subsides. Don't beat yourself up. Don't put yourself on a time clock. It's all right. Be consistent and be persistent with the decision that you made. And you'll look up and it's no longer a thought, because now it's your normal. It's your new normal, right? So remember, whenever that flare up, that trigger, I miss them, what they doing, who they with, they thinking about me, it's our anniversary, all that stuff comes up, push those list out. Remember why they don't deserve access. Step 5. Step 5 is simply really what I just said, and that's just being consistent. The person will get the picture, especially if you've been in a merry-go-round type of situation with them. They're not really going to look at this as any different. You just might say something a little different this time, but nothing is really making them feel like this will be any different. Oh, you just mad, you in your feelings, blah, 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 blah. They'll be cool. I give her a couple of days. It'll be all right. So they're going to give you those couple of days, those couple of weeks. It's going to be a text, what you doing? I miss you. They're going to send you a old memory that came up on Facebook to get you back in that good feeling place, right? Push your list out. But step 5, remain consistent. They're going to try a few times. A lot of them will. But with each time you do not respond, you elicit a feeling of rejection. People don't like to feel rejected, so they tend not to continue to put themselves in situations that make them feel that way. Why? Yeah, kind of fucks with your ego a little bit. So you tend not to want to come across like you sweating somebody. You thinking about them more than they're thinking about you. You know, they're your first thought and your last thought, and in the middle of the day too. And the fact that I'm calling and reaching out and texting and leaving voicemails and sending you memories off of social media and you're not responding, oh, they gonna get mad and they gonna get in their feelings, but they will eventually stop. And if you are no longer involved with this person for the decisions and the reasons that you have deemed justified to remove them, then guess what? How they feeling and being in their feelings is no longer your concern. Remember, you wish them well. Doesn't mean it's your responsibility to make sure they're well. So, engage in new things that bring you joy. Find new hobbies. Try new places and things and people to hang out with. Distract yourself. This is all about building your happiness. So go out there and try new things you've been afraid of or been hesitating and being procrastinating with doing. Go ahead and do it. Now is the time. It's about you. You're getting rid of dead weight. Why? Because it got heavy, right? So now it's time to go out there and date yourself and get to know yourself and enjoy having the free time, meaning that mental time that you are not stressing about what they're doing or how they made you feel or why are we going through this again or why do they keep doing this when I told them it doesn't feel good and it hurts my feelings and it makes me insecure and it makes me feel some type of way and I don't feel loved and I'm not happy and I'm not satisfied and why am I doing more than you're doing and why do you not make me feel like I'm number 1? Damn, can I be number 2? Can you at least give me number 3? Why are you begging to be in somebody's top priority list? Because let me tell you something, when you mean something to somebody, they make time. You will never have to beg for it. You will never have to question it. And you sure as hell ain't got to be scheduled in like it's a chore. It will be their pleasure. It will be their absolute pleasure. Do you hear what I'm saying? The only conversation gonna be what you want to do today, not if I'm gonna see you today. I'm two different type of vibes, don't you think? Don't sit around thinking about that person. And I know it's going to be hard, hence why I said find yourself some distractions. Get in the gym. Go to some sipping paints. You always want to go on that little getaway. You always want to treat yourself to that certain restaurant. You want to go check out that movie. You wanted to go and, bike ride on the lake. Whatever it is. You always want to plan a wine tasting at your house or whatever it is. Distract yourself while you're healing. Distract yourself while you're creating your new normal. Because I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, you're going to make the decision and that person is never going to cross your mind again. No, I ain't going to lie to you and tell you that. Love you too much for that. But you got to get yourself through the point of that moment. Because it's a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a moment. Don't make it more than that. And when you're having that moment, because something triggered you, a song came on the radio, somebody asked you about them, a memory comes up on social media, you driving and you remember when you went to that restaurant, whatever the hell triggers that person to come to your mind, it's normal, it's okay, don't beat yourself up, it's all right. It's all right. Pull out your list, remind yourself, go over that list over and over again till the feeling starts to subside. And like I said, you won't have to rely on that list after so long because you will be affirmed and confirmed in the decision that you made. No regrets. And you can see that person walk past you that day and you will still wish them well, but you will have no desire to have them back. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Like I end every video saying, remember you are responsible for your happiness and your peace. People could come along and join you for the journey, but they're not responsible for it. Everyone doesn't deserve access. Hell, American Express, you even got to have an eligibility guideline you meet to even be able to swipe their card or say you are American Express member. So why shouldn't it be eligibility to be able to have access to you? We came into this physical existence to learn our lessons, but to be happy and to be of service to one another. We all have a reason we're here. We all have a purpose and a passion. And we can't really get to it when our heart is broken. We're constantly distracted. We're lost. We're confused. And we're hanging on to something that is slowly killing us. And what I mean by killing us, it doesn't have to be literally. But you can't even concentrate on what makes you happy. You're not aspiring to go after your dreams and your passions because you're so consumed with he or she. Doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem fair. Remember, you are kings and you are queens. You hold the key to who has access, but you also have the key to lock the door, should that situation ever arise. I wish each and every one of you more happiness and abundance that your heart knows what to do with. You deserve it. The only person that could ever stop you from achieving it is you. I got nothing but love for you. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Know that I am here. You could find my website and all of those things linked in the description box below. Until we meet again, remember, once you make the decision you need to make today for the betterment of yourself, puts you one step closer to achieving your happiness. Time waits for no one, and neither does life. Leave here happy as hell with no regrets. It's really that simple. Did you like and comment and subscribe here?